and good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. And it is the final day of TIP Annual Conference 2021. Who is excited? Who is as excited as I am? We've done day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8. Oh my goodness. I am excited. I don't know about you, but it's such an exciting time. And I am also going to be speaking today, later on at 7 p.m., but we're having two other amazing speakers, friends, global friends of mine, Hanan from Argentina and Celia from the US. We're going to have Hanan here immediately at this session where he's going to be talking about, skills. Parenting skills have gone global, and he's going to be streaming live from Argentina. But you know what? Before then, as usual, we want to show you what it is that you get when you are actually part of the whole process that we've been talking about now for a while. But before we show you that process, we have someone in the inner circle right in the room who is going to also be bringing up a poem to us. It's a poem for fathers. He is from South Africa. He is a father in the inner circle. You've heard a lot about the inner circle program, the kind of people that we have. In fact, I gush over the inner circle parents. Of course, by now you should have known that. And one of the fathers in the inner circle is bringing us a poem before we get on this session with Hanan. All right. So I would urge you to just sit back as you begin to put yourself together and then prepare for this session. My name is Wendy Ologe, and I am the chief servant of the Intentional Parent Academy. I am the host today at this session. All right. So listen to this poem as we begin to go. Hi, Joseph Ellison. Thank you so much. Can you hear me, Joseph? Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Please, you can go on.
Okay, good. And can you see me?
Yes, I can see you clearly.
Hi, Coach. Can you see me? Can you confirm if you can see me?
Yes, boss. I can see you, sir.
Hello? Hello, can you confirm if you can hear me? Okay, great. Thank you so much. As Coach Wendy just said, we call her in the inner circle, or in the Intentional Parenting University, where all of us, we are a student. We call her VC, Vice Chancellor. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I have a short poem, but before that, I really want to thank you in the name of other parents you are coaching. You are really a godsend. There's actually no bad parent, but sometimes we did not know how to do it because there is no other school. I've never heard any school which teaches people get married, then you find yourself, you have a child, but there's no school. We hear people speaking, oh, this is how we raise children, but this is the first time where we go to learn, where you get the person to speak, you ask questions. So we are appreciating what you do. The only thing is to ask God to bless you and your family. So my poem is called A Call to African Men. So today I know in the conference, many spoke to men, others spoke to women, but today I allow me to speak to men, because men are the blessings to a family. Because as I'm speaking, like I'm in South Africa, And we all see, always see, I'm not sure in other countries, but because the apartheid, which was in South Africa for many years, and it was mainly targeting men. So you found many families, they don't have a man anymore. You found families, they don't have children, don't have a father figure, and it has affected the whole life. That's why you see young people, when they don't have really proper mentoring, everything goes wrong. So allow me today, without undermining women, without undermining ladies in our families, but let me talk to African men. Some of us, we blame poverty, but this is not civility. Yes, some didn't have fathers. They were raised by only mothers. Others were raised with too much anger. But this shouldn't be the cause for not being a good father. Gone are those days when physical muscles used to define manhood, like it's done in Hollywood. Or gone are those days where physical muscles used to define manhood. Gone are those days where men must be autocrats in the families. Gone are those days where real men is that who drink too much wine or beer. Gone are those days where men go to kitchen when they are only cooking meat. Oh, gone are those days. Let me give you a secret, and it has worked for me. For sure, it can work for you. If you join the inner circle, you will find that what I'm saying is true. Time is now to treat her as a queen if you also wish her to be treated as a king. Come home early, take care of her, your family. Play with your kids frequently. Talk to them as much as you can. They will grow joyfully and you will be all right amusingly. You can make supper with them. There is no matter. You can wash dishes. Why not change nappies? I promise you will feel happy and you won't feel sorry. Let's keep our families from harm and keep our women with that warmth. Take time to hear your women as her men. You will be her superman. Hold them with your arm tight. They will also take care of you in the night. Real men don't just sit and watch movies or soccer while their women are all busy. Real men don't sit and drink wine after beers. They protect their women as human protect against the bees. They do take care, they do care by accompanying their wives to prenatal appointment. They do care by being there when their wives are giving birth. Yes, let's do care by being their strength no matter what comes our way. Time, take time to talk to her, not time to give her orders. Seek advice from her. She's the best advice giver you will have, and the reason for you to behave. Make a home budget together. I assure you, you will succeed forever. You will build your home and family not with the voice and noise you raise on her and your children, but with the affection and good action towards your family. Oh, men of Africa, beautiful our Africa. Your men don't fight, they don't rape or sleep around, make babies who will never know their fathers. Come together and protect our families. Can we? Yes, we can. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. Joseph Ellison, thank you so much for that touching poem. It was just awesome. Please, we would like a written copy of this poem sent to us. We want to publish it as well. Thank you so much for
I will send
sharing
it.
this with us. Please let us give Joseph Ellison a round of applause. All right. This is one of the men that I have seen in the inner circle that is more active than their wife. There are the few couples that are in the inner circle, but he is more active than the wife is. I can't remember how many times Tando will say, "Oh, today, oh, I did it," and all of them. Joseph is always there, taking this, heads on. I am hoping that fathers heard this. I am hoping. Share this to every man that you know. And thank you so much, Joseph, all the way from South Africa, for sharing this awesome, thoughtful poem to us this afternoon at TIP Annual Conference. We don't take it for granted that you brought out your time to do this just on your own. I just want to say thank you, sir. Thank you for coming, and see you in the yard. Alrighty, that was Joseph Ellipson all the way from South Africa. By the way, with the inner circle is filled with parents all over the world. South Africa, Argentina, name it. Anywhere that you want to think about, right? We have parents that live in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia, in Pakistan, name it. We have parents all over the world. All right, Ghana, Kenya, Cameroonians. In fact, we have quite a number of Cameroonians right in the inner circle. So wherever you are, wherever at all, you can be part of the inner circle. All you need to do is to actually take a look at the screen and book a slot so that you will be part of the inner circle. The inner circle is where it happens, all right? This is just, that all over. If you think that you found value here, then hey, the inner circle will blow your mind. Thank you again. As we move on, we are going to have Hannah Chosa's profile go up now on the screen. All right, while we wait, remember to share this link with your family and your friend. Remember to share this link with your family and your friend. Invite someone as we wait to bring Hannah's profile on the screen. Invite someone here. Tell someone that you are at a parenting Shiloh. Yep.
Hannah Chosa is an Argentinian author, businessman, and public speaker. He lives in Buenos Aires and runs a global zinc flake coating business as Chosa SRL CEO. He is a former professional tennis player willing to share his experiences in parenting through books, talks, and online courses. He published My Son the Tennis Player, How to Help Your Kids Succeed in Sports, and has just released Parent Shift, the skills you need to become a super parent. He also wrote Unplugged, a rock story, his first novel where he could fuse two passions, music and writing. He is married to Mariana and has two sons, Julian and Sebastian. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome to the 2021 Intentional Parents Conference, Hannah Chosa.
And yes, we have Hanan right in the studio. Hi, Hanan.
Hi, Wendy. How are you? What a nice presentation.
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. Thank you so much.
Shall we start?
Okay, yes. So I'm going to be off your screen now, and you're going to have the floor, and I will bring your screen. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Hanan, and let me tell you one thing. You want to actually sit tight so that you can look at these skills that we're talking about, right? And listen to what Hanan has to offer. And then Hanan, in English is second language for Hanan, and Hanan has done so much to learn English. So hey, let's get on it. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, thanks, Wendy, for the challenge. Okay, let's start. Hello, everyone. Let me ask you something. Can you remember the last interaction with your son or daughter? How was it? In the next 30 minutes, you will receive all the tools you need to become a super parent. My name is Hernan. I'm from Argentina, and I'm glad to be invited to this conference. Parenting is a subject today, and it's an important one. Why? Because we spend a lot of time with our kids, and the way we act makes a meaningful impact. As consequences don't appear right away, sometimes we don't realize when our behavior can be harmful. Anyway, kids have an asset. They can bounce back from failures and our mistakes, only if we change the course of our actions. We have something here to start working on. We need to shift our focus. Stop micromanaging our kids and concentrate on us. We have the golden key to solve these puzzles. Yes, there are some specific behaviors to perform, but I want to deliver the main idea. Becoming the best version of ourselves is the best strategy to develop a healthy, long-lasting, and enjoyable relationship. Again, becoming the best version of ourselves is the best strategy to develop a healthy, long-lasting, and enjoyable relationship. Let's link this concept to a story, a personal one. Julian, my eldest son, started playing tennis at 3 years old. We went to the club, and first I played with a friend. Later, we played. We played till he said it was enough. Can it be half an hour, 1 hour, or more? Once, when he was 4, he made a serve in the middle of the game. The serve is one of the most challenging strokes because you have to adjust the upper and lower body coordination, the toss, and many things. So at that time, I thought my kid was one of a kind, serving easily and with grace. Unfortunately, I was mistaken. It took me several years to figure out what he was doing. He was copying my serve. He traced it. Kids are sponges. They absorb everything around them, and we are their primary inspiration source. So, what can we do about it? We have to be aware of our habits. Are we willing to commit to our jobs, friends, and family the same way we require our kids in sports? Are we willing to accept that business loss, show up the next day, and give our best? Are we willing to do the push-ups we tell our kids they need to perform? Our actions align with the phrase, I want my kid to have fun in sports. Once, in a tennis club, I found a example of the phrase. It looks old, rusty, forgotten in the middle of the court. And it said, if you want to champion at home, start training yourself. So, with our self-development in mind, the first question to ask is why our kids in sports? Chances are our kid won't make a living through sports. Research shows that only 1 every 16,000 can do so. I won't dare to say my kid will be the lucky one. So we need another why. The why are more important than the hows. Why I am talking to you today? I am talking to you today because I experienced an unhealthy relationship. My father was tough, always micromanaging my tennis. And there isn't much information around there about sports parenting. I also came up short as a parent, and sharing my experience will help you. Don't worry. I think I am fully recovered, and your kids will benefit from it. Sports provide a framework to develop skills. Which ones? These are some of them. Healthy routines, like nutrition and workouts. Concentration. Kids have their center of attention on the game, on the ball. Decision making. Take tennis as an example. Every 4 seconds, you have a decision to make, and the results are on time. Next, time management. Kids have to balance practice, tournaments, school and friends. It's challenging, isn't it? What else? Team dynamic skills. They learn to be part of a team and play different roles in it. And last, to perform under pressure. There is always pressure on a tournament, on a practice, always. So it looks worthy to keep our kids in sports, isn't it? The secret word regarding this matter is passion. When I mean passion, I am talking about the love for the game. It's tricky because it works like a seesaw. The more we add to the equation, the less they contribute. Julian was an excellent tennis player in under 10 and under 12, one of the best in the country, reaching the quarterfinals of the Eddie Herr, one of the most important tournaments in the world. Do you want to know what happened next? We started getting more involved in his tennis than himself. It wasn't just me and my wife. Grandparents were included, and he quit tennis at 15. So how can we do to avoid temptation? Because every day the attraction is there, in every conversation with him, with other parents, because we love to talk about how good our kid is, and they hate us. So shifting our focus from them to us is the best advice I can come up with. You can get involved in your job, improve your husband or wife relationship, start a new hobby, gardening, painting, playing an instrument. Every activity outside your kids' sports will help. You need to escape the youth sport field of attraction. All these activities mean you support your kid from a different perspective, a big picture view. Yes, there are some useful tips that we'll talk about it later. But the first thing to have in mind is to don't overlap your kids' passion. Okay. Let's move to family interactions. Now, let's move to practice. The practice is one of the most important things for our kids. They enjoy the training because of friends, and the stakes aren't as high as in a tournament. We have to understand that it is their space, not ours. It's a place where they improve their game and also they build a relationship with the coach. I know it's a pleasant activity watching our kids during workouts, but we're adding pressure to the system. So avoiding our presence during practice, it's a good one. Unconsciously, we evaluate him or her, and later we talk about what we perceive. Even though, if we're right in our opinions, dynamic is unhealthy and a short-term view. Unlikely practices, we must be present in tournaments, unless they don't want to. When I was 15, I told my father not to come anymore to my matches, and he did so, just for 1 year. Later, he came back reloaded. Anyway, our mission here is to give confidence and support. How can we do so? First, being aware of our body language. If we can show up with an excellent posture, fake it. Maintain it, even though they're having a hard time on court. Second, support them, but try not to overact it. Third, kids have to build grit during matches, fighting their own battle. Bad calls will happen, and they have to handle them alone. And fourth, behaving with other parents. Take into account that one match won't change anything. Have in mind the relationship with your kid. Nurture the relationship, and you have a wonderful time and can evolve to other stages. After matches, there are two scenarios, winning or losing. Victories are easier to handle than losses. The latter needs time to heal, and we can contribute with our silence. Everything we'll say, it will turn against us. Of course, we want to share insights and theories about why they lost. Believe me, it isn't worth it. They need time to process the information. Can it take 15 minutes, half an hour, or the whole afternoon? Anyway, leave the technical comments to the coach. Then we have a conversation about things to work on in the future. Okay, now let's move to family interactions. The dinner table is the meeting point. It's the place where we catch up with our kids and they tell us how their day was. What do we talk about? Is sports the main subject? We have some homework to do here. We need to search for other conversation topics. Otherwise, we talk about sports 100% of the time. Boys and girls are interested in different things, so we have to be creative and have ideas in advance. Next, it's key to have an accountability partner. Can it be your wife, your husband, or a friend? We perform better when we are committed to something and we know that someone is taking it into account. 4 eyes are far better than 2. Sometimes we think we're on the right track or want to believe it, and there is when our accountability partner helps us to change course. Next, the forgotten son. The forgotten son is one of the biggest mistakes in losing family balance. I am guilty about that one too. It's easy to shift our attention to the kid who plays sports. We provide him with transportation, we share tournaments, so we spend a lot of time with him or her. Planning time with other family members is an art to develop. It's challenging sharing activities without checking the phone every 5 minutes. We have to build muscle. We have to plan it in advance. Shut it down in your to-do list. Quality time is everything for our kids. And believe me, they know we're not giving 100% of our attention. And last, if you want to argue with your son, just compare him with another kid. There's always someone better. Don't worry if he didn't appear yet. He will show up soon. If you want your kid to remain in sports, you can do the following. Compare himself with his yesterday's version. It's healthier and a never-ending path. Okay, now let's share some tips about confidence. There are many exercises around there, but I want to limit it to 2 simple things. They work for me and hopefully can work for your kids. First, being the best at something, it's a confidence booster. We want our kids to play with the best players because we think they can improve that way. Take into account that they can have a hard time there. Why don't you think about joining a lower group? Isn't it charming? When I was 14, I practiced at a club. Their group was overloaded, so they split it. The good ones and the bad ones. Life. And I was delivered to the latter. The good thing was that I was the best in that group. The coach gave me all his attention and played frequently with me. I work on my craft. And after 6 months, I started beating all the good ones one by one. Second is to outwork other players. If we do the same as average, we won't excel at any task. During the summer, the club slowed down activities. So I went 1 month to Nick Bollettieri's academy and another month to Tandil's academy. Once back, I played my first tournament and qualified to the nationals. It wasn't a miracle. Believe me, I work a lot. Confidence is an asset to develop, and it's a life changer. Okay, sometimes we watch our son that look confused, burn out. I want to help him by adding people to the system. Another coach, a yoga trainer, a psychologist, whatever. The more we push, the less we get. First, we need psychology therapy more than them. And I'm serious about it. Having to deal with expectation. frustration, and dealing with our jobs, family, and all the other tasks is overwhelming. Second, I already told you Julian quit tennis at 15. After 2 years without hitting a single ball, he said he wanted to pursue a college tennis scholarship. It was a huge announcement on New Year's Eve. Can you imagine how to achieve his goal with no tennis, lack of ranking, having to deal with high school, college exams, and all the recruiting process? It was a tough year, and he did get his scholarship in a Division I college. Why? Because it was his goal, not his parents' plan. He decided what he wanted and worked hard to achieve it. This brings us back to the passion tip. Kids have to lead the process. Kids have to drive the bus. When we are the drivers, family suffers. To end Julian's story, he graduated last year and we couldn't attend his graduation due to COVID-19. We spent 1 year far from him. But you know something? It was worth it because he experienced many things having to deal with different situations. When kids are in their 20s, interactions slow down. We have to adapt and accept their timing. Sometimes they will require our advice, and there is a big opportunity to give our best and then step back. They have to blend our advice with their thinking and take their own decision. Following up isn't the right call. We want to keep being a source of guidance. Okay, summarizing. All the tools are available, and you can use them right after the conference. You don't need to buy anything to start up with. These are easy things to do, but the trick is they're also easy not to do. Things can go off track quickly. Maybe you're thinking that I mastered the parenting skills. Not even close. I work every day to meet my kids' standards. Do I come up short? Yes, of course, but the good thing is I am aware of it. Finally, I want to share Uncle Tony's quote. It's the headline of his book. Everything can be trained. You can train your mind, you can train your technique, you can train your speed, you can train everything. So let's shift our minds and train to become the best version of ourselves. Thank you.
And that was just precise. And please, if you have questions, share it right in the comment section. Thank you so much, Hanan. And I like the way, what you said about, giving time to our children. Quality time is everything for our children. But they also know that we're not giving it 100% of our time. They also know that we are not doing it. And I know that many parents are also very guilty, all right, of it. All right. So, and you said something that many people have echoed right in this conference from the beginning. And that has been work on you. Work on you. Parenting is about you. You first. And everything just has to be you. And if it is about you, then I think that we have more work to do than the parents do have, than the children do have work to do. All right. So everything can be trained. All right. Let me see your comments in the comment section. And as we begin to wait for the questions to come up, we will play you another review from a parent in the inner circle while our speaker catches his breath, and also you send in your questions. We will put in your questions on display and ask. He will be able to answer them while we're moving. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are really very glad that you are here. Thank you as we listen and then send in all the details that we want our speaker, everything that you want our speaker to answer to today. Please send in, and thank you for joining us.
Hello everyone, my name is Shera AJ and I just want to share about my experience with the TIP Inner Circle. So when I heard about the Inner Circle, I wanted to join. I wanted to find out what it was about. But then I heard about the cost and I got discouraged. But I'm glad I asked because I was told, oh, you can pay partly. There's a payment plan and it helps you to pay in parts, which was great. And that's what I did. And I do not regret my decision. Just being around parents that share the same ideas with you about raising children, asking questions, rubbing mind and realizing, oh, I'm not the only one going through this, and coming up with solutions that are long lasting, that give results, has been amazing. I'm not talking about the master classes we have every month. I can't even not mention the books. I normally don't read books, but being in the Inner Circle has made me to start reading books and just discussing about books, learning things. You will be a student of your child when you enter the Inner Circle because you realize that parenting is about you and understanding your child. Because at the end of the day, how can you raise a child you do not understand? You do not know their learning styles. You do not know their love language. You do not know their temperaments. That's one of the things that I've learned in the Inner Circle. What does it mean to discipline your child? What skills do you need to teach your child? How do you teach your child? Daily activities to do with your child. It's so many things. There are times I felt overwhelmed with the information, but then I realized that, I'm learning this thing for the whole journey that I'm going to have with my daughter or my children. It's not just for today, not just for 1 week. And so it's worth the investment and it's worth your time. So if you're considering it, if you're thinking about it, yes, go for it. And I'm sure you will not regret it. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, if you're considering it, I am sure also that you will not regret being in the Inner Circle. I can assure you of that. All right, you've seen testimonials, putting everything ever. Gladys Eta said is our best review ever. All right, somebody has a question, Hanan. Let's quickly get to the question. This person said, you said that if a child's team loses, you should be silent. What if your child expects you to comfort him?
I don't think that my son wants to comfort him. He wants his piece off because he lost. He has to process that loss by his own. You can give him a kiss, give him a hug, and that's all what maybe you can do. But because words, if you use the wrong words or you don't have the right timing, as you say, because the best word with the wrong timing, it's a mess, So maybe a hug, a kiss, and that's all. That's what I think. Yeah.
All righty. So what Hanan is saying is just a hug. Don't make it. Don't go overboard. Don't make it an issue and come and start preaching failure at that point and all of that. Just let the child be able to process the loss, because remember that the child is also feeling something at that point. So let the child process it. All right. And that would really, really help the child. I am thinking that that's the only question that I can see here for Hanan. I am still waiting. If you have more questions, we can answer that. But if you don't, we can retreat to return at 4:30 p.m. to listen to Celia Kibla, How to Raise Happy Toddlers. Celia Kibla is a grandmother, and she's not just a grandmother. She has done parent coaching for 30 years and over. So you want to be here to listen to Celia. All the questions on parenting will be there. All right. But if you still have questions on sports parenting, if you have questions on skills, when it comes to parenting children in sports and all of that, please ask away. We'll still have a bit of time to be able to do this. But if not, I just love how Hannah put that presentation. It was straight to the point. It was amazing. It was just, it was just no long, just straight, everything precise. And this is one of the sessions that I would like to come back to just, also pick out the points and put that. Okay, someone says, how do you know? All right, the question is on the screen. So how do you know the best spot for your child?
In fact, I don't know the best sport for my child. He's the one who knows. What we can do, we can show them different sports to try, and then maybe he stays with one. but the sport is someone about the child, not about the parent. We have to give them the space to decide and to choose what best for him.
Interesting. You need to give your child the space to choose what is best for them. So you really do not know what is best sport for your child. You just expose them to all of that. And please, how can I connect with Hanan? Hanan, please, your Instagram handle. Your Instagram handle. Hanan is on Instagram.
Yeah, Hanan Chosa. Yeah.
As Hanan Chosa. So we're going to just share Hanan's link, Hanan Chosa, on Instagram, and you will be able to share that. So someone says, how do you make sure you balance the attention you give to a sporty child and one who is not interested in sport?
No, you have to make some programs with the kid or the girl that doesn't play sports. Sports is kind of an attraction. So you spend time with them, you get involved, you get over involved. It happens to me. I have a younger kid who played tennis, but he wasn't so gifted. So all my attention was in the elder one, and I have to recall all that and change myself to be a better parent. I start sharing activities with music with my younger son because he's involved in music. So I have to be aware of that and have to get some point of interest between each kid. Maybe with the elder you talk about sports, and with the young you talk about some books or some music. But you have to have some bonding.
All right, thank you so much. Someone also says that how do you balance sports and academics? Hanan?
Wow, that's a tough one. Many children that study sports seriously, all their academic grades went down, and you put some private lessons and it isn't worth it. But there are online systems now with COVID-19. There are many online systems. But what I do think is that don't burn stages with overtrain a kid in sports at early ages. Don't burn stages. So maybe a kid that is 13, 14 years with 2 hours a day of the sport is enough. And I think it's important to have another interests. Maybe play 2 sports or have another thing to have in his mind, or in her mind. Because if not, you're involved in the sport, and then you have the only path to be pro. And that's for a very few people, Sports are very good for other issues. So develop all that skills with sport and use the sport as a medium, not as an end, as a mean.
Let the sports be a medium, not an end. Awesome. I think I like that particularly. Someone said, my child used to love writing, but recently she really does not want to write again. What can I do to continue this skill? We're talking about skill, Hanan. So what can be done?
You need to go to a psychologist because he will return with his writing skill when he wanted to. I've been to a psychologist because my younger son he quit 2 careers in college and he was doing nothing. And I said to him, what can I do? You give him time. He alone will find the way. And then he find his way in the music. He went to a college. So the kids need space. Yeah, I know that you don't want to see your kid in the couch and he's not writing. I know that, and I experienced that sensation, and that's a very bad feeling. But that way you have to find a hobby, find something to do, find other things that escape you for that feeling. I know my younger son was gifted playing the sax, and then he never played anymore. And we for 2-3 years said to him, why don't you play? He never played. It's up to him. We don't have any authority about their gifts or about their interests.
Awesome. So what Hanan is saying is just give the child some space, and if you need to find help, you can do that if you think something is really wrong. Someone said
I,
yes.
I can
Okay,
add
yes,
something. I can add something.
yes.
If that kid see you writing, maybe he can continue writing. Because kids copy what he if he see yourself watching TV all day long, he's not going to be willing to write, you know.
Yeah, so you're getting into that space can also help the child to also return with all of that writing skills. Okay, so someone is asking, in a situation that you have a sport child and the sport child needs to travel for sporting activities, since you said that you need to be there for the children and all of that, and you can't really travel, how do you balance that?
How do you play sports without travel? No, maybe you can play local competitions. You can play local competitions. Maybe individual sports are expensive than group sports. Group sports maybe can be founded by the school or by the club. Individual sports are tougher, but you can find some local competition that you don't have to spend too much money. But tennis is a very particular sports where I don't know why all the people wants to travel and want to get some points, and you go far away to get some of them and to get some ranking. So you get in some strange environment, strange environment. So you end up doing what all the people is doing instead of doing what is best for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hanan. I think that was the very last question that I can see. Someone is talking about, oh, my child writes on anything. What kind of skill is that? And how do I handle my child constantly writing on anything that she sees? Is that a skill? Is it something I should hone?
No, maybe you can talk to someone that is good at it, or a teacher, or maybe to go to some workshop to develop some skills. But maybe the kid wants just to write, and that's okay for her. I don't know the special case, but when we see some kid that is gifted, we start to try to push them. So when I talk with this psychologist that I talk about my kid was gifted in music, and he said to me, don't push it, don't push him. Just because in my mind, I ask about what are you practicing, what lick are you rehearsing, and that was wrong. That was wrong.
So you need to be careful not to just keep pushing and pushing the child. And we have another question that says, how do I make my child like sports activities? Oh, wow.
You blend with the environment. If you don't play sports, it's more probably that the kid doesn't play sport, or maybe you can go to a club, or maybe he can take a tennis class, or go to a soccer, or see if he likes something. You have to go to an environment that they play sports. Now it's difficult for kids to play sports, but the older people plays a lot of sports, more after COVID-19. So if your kids see you, that you're willing to move yourself out of the couch and go to run and go to make something and sweat and all that thing, maybe you drive something inside of him.
Awesome. So if you're ready to do the work, your children would also learn from you. It takes us back to what we've been saying, that parenting is about you and you. Do not hold your children to the standards that you are not also willing to also measure to. That's just it. So that's just it. You want to come out of the couch, you want your children to like sports. Hey, so you being a sporty parent as well. So because that's not going to just come out of the blues. And that's what Hanan has said today. Hanan is challenging many of us who don't do any form of sport. I do. My son plays sport as well. But I guess that's not because I run or something. I just guess that's because he likes to do sports. I don't know, but because we do lots of exercises at home, I don't know if that was a trigger for him or, or it wasn't. But I get it. I'm just imagining that I was a professional tennis player, for instance. I'm sure that my children will have catch some interest somewhere, along the line or something.
Yeah, yeah. My kids started playing tennis at early age because they watched me play. So they started with
Mhm.
tennis because I was playing. That's the main thing.
Exactly, exactly. So being a professional tennis player, of course, it was easy for them to buy into it because that's what they can say. So if you want your child to do whatever, try it yourself first, and then you will be able to actually have access. And while Hanan was also speaking, I think I got my mind flashed back. My dad was very sporty. My dad could play all sports, all of them, almost all the sports that I knew. Javelin, shot put, table tennis, long tennis. He could play a lot, swimming, and all of that. That was for a long time in schools. That's what he taught. He was a principal at some time. So, I'm thinking of it now. Maybe that's also one of the reasons why I run. So maybe it could be because I've seen him do a lot of sports and it just comes easy as well. So I get the part of you need to be that parent first before your child will become that parent. That's if you really want your child to just go through. Sometimes children also pick these things up from school where they see people playing lots of sports and they join in, and then it's also part of the system as well. The kind of school that your child is in would also help. Is it a school that is focused on sports? Is it a school that doesn't really send sports and all of that? So it's all about the exposure. It's all about the experiences that we give our children. That's actually what takes them to that point. And as we begin to round off, Hanan, I would what would be your last words to parents as we begin to round off this afternoon?
Last word to parents. First, thank you for the chance to speak to all your audience. And what can I say is that we want everything now from our kids, and they need time. They need time the same as we need time to develop our skills. So maybe you can watch your kid is gifted in something, and you want to be a champion right now, and that's not the way. It's a process, and you maybe have 80,000 followers, and you didn't start with 80,000 followers. You started with one. So every kid needs time, and I think it's important to listen to them, not just their words, to listen to the attitude when they are doing something, their body language. They speak with their body too. So it's to speak less and listen more. Yeah, that's the main thing.
Awesome, awesome. And Hanan's last word is speak less and listen more. Thank you so much, Hanan, for coming to speak at the TIP Annual Conference 2021. Hanan is my friend all the way from Argentina. Yes, it just says today that children need time. Give them time. Speak less, listen more. Don't just keep talking, talking, talking. Sometimes you just need to shut it and just listen, to the thing, all right? And then parenting is about the process. You want it now, it's not going to have the result of the now. Thank you so much, Hanan, as we begin to round off to return at exactly 4:30 p.m., where we will be having Celia Kibla, all the way from the U.S., Maryland, United States of America, will be speaking on how to raise happy people, happy toddlers, happy. You have a toddler, please be here. You have a grown person, please be here. See you at 4:30. Thank you, Hannah. And again, we don't take your time for granted. Thank you so much. And then I see you where I see you. All
Thanks,
righty.
Wendy.
All right. Thank you so much. That was Hanan Coesa from Argentina speaking on building skills for sporty children and sport parenting. All right. That was just a short, precise, awesome, lesson. If you got value, let's see your fire emojis, and remember that you can follow Hanan at Hanan Choesa, and we are going to share the details of his handle to you right in the Telegram channel. And hey, if you're thinking it, you want to join the parents in the inner circle, you heard yourself, Ellipson today, Joseph Ellipson with his poem. I wish I can play that poem over and again, but it was a live session. So you want to go back and go and listen to that poem again. It was just awesome. All right. And if you want to be again at the inner circle, that is the number on my screen. The slots, when they are gone, we will shut out. Again, we had over 200 people on our waiting list as at this year March who wanted to get into the inner circle but couldn't get it. We're closely getting to that point when you send us a chat and we tell you, oh, well, we don't have time, we don't have space again. You have to wait for 2023. Don't be caught there. We have a number that we can take in, right? If you got value, let's see the comments in the comment section. Let's see the fire emojis. And hey, share this link with people. Share, invite everybody, and follow us on Instagram at The Intentional Parents with the S. Hey, trust me, you want to be on our Instagram handle. The fire there is something else in this period. And did I tell you that I'm going to be speaking at 7 p.m. today? You don't want to miss that session. It's an anointing service. You don't want to miss that session. So we see again at 4:30, where we will be having Marybeth moderate Celia's session, and I would also be here. Thank you again and again for always being here. We do not also take you for granted. Thank you so much. And you listen to these reviews as we begin to round up. I think we should play Joseph Ellipson's review. He was the father that just gave the poem. That will be awesome for us to listen again.
Hi, my name is Joseph Ellipson. I'm in South Africa. I and my wife Tando, we are part of the Intentional Parent Academy. We have 3 children, 2 boys and 1 daughter. We started our intentional parenthood journey early this year, I think in January, but the results are really, really big. We now have our family vision and mission, and whatever we do is based on that. We do organize family meetings where we discuss everything about the family, and everyone in the family contributes. We now dedicate time to speak to our children more than before. Particularly as a father, I have learned a lot. Though the journey is still long, but being part of this academy is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I don't scream to my children anymore. I devote time to play with them, to go out with them, talk to them, and congratulate them whenever they do well, but also to build confidence into them. So really, I'm happy, even if sometimes I work far from home, but I use the new technology like the Facebook room, the Zoom meetings, so that I can keep talking to them. So thank you so much, Coach Wendy, our Vice Chancellor. May God bless you and your family. Greetings to the governor.
Hello everyone, my name is Shera AJ, and I just want to share about my experience with the TIP Inner Circle. So when I heard about the Inner Circle, I wanted to join. I wanted to find out what it was about, but then I heard about the cost and I got discouraged. But I'm glad I asked, because I was told, oh, you can pay partly, there's a payment plan, and it helps you to pay in parts, which was great, and that's what I did. And I do not regret my decision. Just being around parents that share the same ideas with you about raising children, asking questions, rubbing mind, and realizing, oh, I'm not the only one going through this, and coming up with solutions that are long lasting, that give results, has been amazing. I'm not talking about the master classes we have every month. I can't even not mention the books. I normally don't read books, but being in the inner circle has made me to start reading books and just discussing about books, learning things. You will be a student of your child when you enter the inner circle, because you realize that parenting is about you and understanding your child. Because at the end of the day, how can you raise a child you do not understand? You do not know their learning styles. You do not know their love language. You do not know their temperaments. That's one of the things that I've learned in the inner circle. What does it mean to discipline your child? What skills do you need to teach your child. How do you teach your child? Daily activities to do with your child. Like it's so many things. There are times I felt overwhelmed with the information, but then I realized that, I'm learning this thing for the whole journey that I'm going to have with my daughter or my children. It's not just for today, not just for 1 week. And so it's worth the investment and is worth your time. So if you're considering it, if you're thinking about it, yes, go for it. And I'm sure you will not regret it. Thank you very much.